Whoa, what is this? Is this dude back live again? Yes, this man is back live again. And according to StreamYard, I'm officially live again. I know. I was just live like 15 minutes ago, but I told y'all I stay busy. It's a busy night. It's a VypDrive double hitter, and we got Stephanie Carls in the building. And YouTube just sent out the notification on time. How cool is that? I love it when YouTube sends out the notifications on time. It's such a beautiful thing. But yeah, I think we got Janothans out there in the chat. We got Armadillo Texans. How y'all doing? Long time no see. Even though I just saw y'all like 10 minutes ago, but long time no see. Welcome back to the podcast again. And yeah, this should be a fun one. And let me go ahead and get the intro out the way and we can get into the podcast. So, this is episode 82. And with episode 82, brings one of the longtime tech creators to the podcast. We have the technically savvy Stephanie Carl. And she is coming up next on VypDrive, which starts now. What's up, people? This your boy Viper, the man about tech, and welcome back to another episode of VypDrive. This is the podcast about tech, hosted by the man about tech. And as I just alluded to in my introduction, I have a longtime tech content creator, tech blogger, technically savvy Stephanie Carls is here on the podcast. Good evening, Stephanie.
Hey, how's it going?
I am good. How are you?
Very, very good. I'm just excited to be here. Try to ramp myself up to be as excited as you.
Not required. It's not required. I have been trying to get you on here for so long, so I'm glad that we get a chance to do this tonight.
I know. This is awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
No problem. Thank you for giving me the time. So I'm going to ask you the same question that I ask most people that are here for the first time. What brought you to YouTube? Because you've been on YouTube for a long time, I believe.
Yeah, I have. I think my biggest, that's probably been 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my reasons have actually changed throughout the years. And whenever I first started, it was really all about social media because I was getting heavily involved in that. It was kind of a nerd alert moment for me just to realize all of the changes that businesses could have in communicating with their customers. And so that was a big change that was happening. I was just really, really excited about it. So a lot of my content was really based all around social tips and tricks and just getting yourself involved in all of the different networks. So that's how it started out. And then I've always loved technology. And so from there, it just started to get into talking about different apps that I was using. And then, of course, as phones started to change, that's really where a lot of the tech kind of came in there. And I actually restarted my channel. And it was just a nice way for me just to start fresh and really have that focus. So that's where My Savvy Life came. And it was just really talking about consumer technology, how people use it, tips and tricks, and of course, talking about phones.
Now, I think you have a business outside of YouTube. So I'm curious, did the business come before you started your channel or after you started your channel?
That is a very complicated question. And the only reason I say that is because of what I was doing on social, that actually started a lot of what I'm doing today. So a lot of my contacts, so I actually made a move from Illinois to Texas, all because of a job in social media. And that's just really where it's been. So kind of YouTube and my blog and just tech creation, tech content creation overall is one side gig. And then I do work full time. So I work for a cybersecurity company called Mobile Iron. Right. And so I run all of social media for them. And I've just really been in that tech space ever since I moved then to Austin.
Now, I got to get you because it's been a while since you put up a YouTube video. So when can we expect Stephanie to come back to YouTube?
We are literally on the countdown because
Ooh.
I've just had a lot of things kind of, I think, in the works and changing. I have young kids,
Hmm.
and as they were younger, it was actually a lot easier for me to put them to bed, and then I could come in my office, turn on the lights, turn on the camera, and get going. And so usually I would film and edit and produce everything all in one night and just stay up till sometimes 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning just because that is the available time that I had.
Right.
And I loved it. And I wanted to continue to do that. But as I, really started doing more things with different companies, I was doing videos with Amazon. I was doing a lot of different videos with, obviously as new phones are coming out or different products are coming, it just required a lot more of my time. And I was still working full time as well. And then, of course, your family. So it just, really became a lot for me. And so that's where I said, okay, if I'm going to cut anything out, unfortunately, it's going to be the videos.
Hmm.
But yet I still kept up with, Twitter and Instagram. Those are always going to be like the top places where you can find me. I'm always on there, as you well know.
Hmm.
So it's been great to still keep that audience engaged. And then I have a lot of stuff that I've been working on behind the scenes, and so a lot of different brands that I'm working with still, and some of those videos are coming up. So we're probably less than 20 days away.
Awesome. I'll be glad to see
Exactly.
you back on the YouTube.
Yeah. No,
So,
I miss it. I miss it a ton.
and it misses you too. So, like I said, we'll be glad to see you come back. I'm curious though. You have worked with a lot of brands during your time as a tech creator and things like that. So, what advice would you give to an up and coming creator who wants to work with brands who might not have like the sky high subscriber count, things like that? Because you've been very successful in your venture with brands and things like that. So, what advice would you give?
Um, Network like crazy.
Uh-huh.
I think that is my number one piece is find those connections. And then the other thing is to always run your social media channels wherever you are at. And if you're wanting to work with brands, run them as if you were running a business. So that means that you don't always have to have, like, you don't always have to run out and get the nicest camera, the nicest phone, whatever, because that's going to put you obviously in the hole, and then you're scrounging, you're really concerned over getting new brand deals and whatever. That doesn't need to be your focus whatsoever. It's those connections. And then once you start working with them, you know don't price yourself either too low, and I know, of course, don't price yourself too high. However, I would also say you can start up at the top, ask people what their budgets are, what are they expecting, and then be able to quote a price. Because what is the worst thing you're going to hear? It's going to be a no.
Yep.
However, if they are talking with you and they want to work with you, 9 times out of 10, they're just going to say, hey, we're not able to make that number. Would you be willing to take this? And usually, whenever that happens, then you have to change your deal too, because you've already quoted what you would do for a particular price. And then if they are trying to quote you at a lower price, then they need to understand that they're not going to get everything that you originally offered.
Right.
So you have to honestly do every single conversation as if you were in a meeting and you're running a business deal. That's really all that it is.
I've heard that advice before, so I do believe that is some solid advice. Obviously, when you are content creators like we are, and you are trying to run your thing like a business,
Right.
you have to treat everything like a business. It's not just one facet or the other facet. You have to treat
Hmm.
it all like a business if you want to be successful at it. So I can definitely agree with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And don't feel bad about saying no. I have probably
Mm,
said no way more times than I have had said yes. And there are a couple different reasons for that. One of them being that brand that you're trying to work with expects certain things out of working with you, of course. But if you know that it's not a match for you, maybe not a match for your personal taste, your personality, all of those things are going to make a difference whenever you are promoting those types of things. So, if it's just not going to work, I'm honest with them and I just say, so appreciate that you have reached out, but I don't really feel like this is going to be a good fit. And these are the reasons why. And I've had people come back and say, well, actually, these are the reasons that we wanted to work with you. Do you think that if we made this type of a story out of it, or if we did something like this, would that work? Just be open to working with them, because again, if you are open and you're honest with them in the beginning, it doesn't hurt to fail. And that's the other piece is if you've been upfront and honest and you've tried, a brand is not going to be mad at you for doing that. So
No,
just
and
keep
those
that in mind.
absolutely, and those are the brands you want to work with. You want to work with brands that you can freely communicate with because
Yeah,
those are the best relationships. So if you
absolutely.
if you run into a brand that isn't really open with the communication and what they can and can't do, then probably want to avoid them, I'm guessing.
Yeah, because I mean, if you are not getting a good vibe from the beginning, then it's not going to be a good return for either one of you.
Yep.
And if anything, that's just going to hurt you in the long run, because now you've maybe put a bad taste in their mouths. And you better believe that these brands talk to each other.
Oh yeah.
We're all, we're connected. I know a lot of different people also in the agency world, and brands use agencies. And a lot of the time they are using the exact same agency as other people. Therefore, some of the time you might actually be working with the exact same account representative. So if you have been rude to one of them, you never know when your name can come up in a meeting as an option, and they will shoot it down right away and say, no, this is what happened last time. I wouldn't suggest working with that person.
It's funny you say that because that same principle applies to brands working with creators. Because as you know, Stephanie, creators talk to each other. So
Absolutely.
if we have a bad experience with a brand, you better believe we have let each other know about it, and it works. It's the same way. So of course, brands are doing the same thing that we're doing.
Exactly. And I definitely have to give, shout outs to a lot of other tech creators, because we've had these conversations and kind of talked about, oh, here's what happened to me. This is what they said they were going to do, then they didn't do it, etc. Or even, hey, wait a second. So you're talking to them too. And we've even gone into those details of, what the compensation level is, what they're expecting, everything. So it's the exact same on both sides.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now you know I pay attention to you, right? I know you got the whole tech savvy blog thing going on. So I've seen all the nice cars you drove around in the past 5 or 6 years. So I'm
Yeah.
curious, Stephanie, what's your favorite car that you ever driven around in?
Um, I am a sucker for fast cars for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Right.
So some of the, high-powered fast cars would definitely have to be like, the Mustang GT. But
Woo!
then also it was, the Lexus GSF.
Mm.
Um, those are really, really nice. You definitely cannot go wrong. And again, those are fun relationships. And it's been cool to be able to just to drive different cars. That's like tech, fast cars. I love it all.
It's like you told me earlier. I can definitely tell that you enjoy what you do, especially when you're driving around in these cars and taking pictures and things like that. You are definitely in your element, no doubt about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And especially when people are like, what? You can drive a stick shift? I'm like, hell yeah, I can.
She like, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?
Well, people have had somebody ask, like, are you sure you can handle that car? So I had to definitely peel out of that
Oh
driveway.
man.
Yeah.
Ooh, Lordy. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Whew.
Now,
Gotta
a
let 'em-
dream, if I could learn how to drift, dream come true.
Ooh.
That's like next on the list.
There you go. That's next level right there. That is next
Yeah.
level. So, I like to pick at you a little bit because I know you're a Pixel girl. So I'm guessing you're rocking the Pixel 4 as your main phone right now, right?
I am.
Of course you are. Do you have any other phones or is that your only one?
Okay.
Got the
There's
Pixel
the 3A.
3A. Okay.
This one's going to shock you.
Oh, what do we got here? Oh,
Okay, so there's that. Let's see. Now there's Samsung. Yeah, S10. Yeah, I don't know. I have a whole bunch. There's like a whole bunch in here. I have a little closet full of them. Yeah, but I really shocked you there with that
You got.
iPhone, huh?
I know how you. Every time I try to teach you about the iPhone, you're like, I don't want none of that. So I'm surprised you got one. You
No.
got me on that one. You got me on that one. Do
Yeah,
you?
I mean, I love it. Like that's the thing is I actually used to judge people for being on Android. I hated
What?
Android.
What?
Yes. Oh yeah.
What? Oh, we lost her. Oh, hopefully she'll come back. Wait. So for those of y'all listening on audio only, she dropped out. So she will be right back. I am kind of shocked that she used to judge people for being on Android, but let's bring her back into it. Explain it, because this shocked the hell out of me.
Okay,
You used to
sorry.
judge people for being on Android?
I did. In fact, if you want to talk about telling a brand that it is not a fit, I also did that to a Android brand. I said, I'm gonna have to send this back because I can't do this. I don't like
Oh,
it. I can't do it. And I sent them their phone back.
all because it was Android?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that was in 2012. I
Wow.
actually specifically remember. Yeah, that was with Motorola. So sorry.
Wait, it was Motorola.
Yeah. It was when they brought out, I think it was like one of the new razors.
Oh my
Yeah.
lord! Oh, I could
So
not believe what I'm hearing.
yeah, I sent it back, said I can't do this. I tried and I don't like it. This is not going to be a good fit and it's not going to be a good review. So we're done and thank you.
Oh, you just cut them off like we're. Oh my
No,
god! Wow.
no, but then let's see, it was probably like 2 years later um, with Samsung that I made the switch. I had a couple other friends that were talking, all about some of the things that they hated about iPhones. And I totally got caught up in that conversation. I was like, whoa, wait a second. And yeah, I went over to Samsung and didn't look back.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the reason why you switched from iPhone to Android was just because of some conversation your friends were having then.
Yeah, I mean, it was just really one of those things where you start to realize a lot of the issues that you're having or the different things that you didn't like, that there are actual fixes to those things. And a lot of it was I'm using Google products anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So why not have a phone that actually uses Google products as their main calendars, mail, everything? So that was like one of my like kind of my big reasons for switching. And then it started to get into like the customization. That's where then I also obviously a little bit later on, that's why I started getting into all of the different the customization on like the different launchers. And I love that. And that is something that like, man, I'm like Nova launcher, totally love it. I tried a couple other ones, but Nova launcher is my jam for sure. So yeah, it was just kind of one of those, aha moments of wait a second, I'm complaining about something that can actually be fixed. So over to Android I went.
Yeah, I know a lot of Android people, they will swear by Nova launcher, so that's definitely one
Yeah,
of the better launchers on Android, in my opinion. I don't think I've
yeah.
ever used it myself, but yeah, I've heard good things about it.
Okay, well then that's going to be in the next live. We're going to do one together.
Alrighty then. Hey, shout out to the 24 of you that are watching the podcast tonight. Thank you for supporting me. If you guys want to donate to the podcast monetarily, you do have the option of super chat. If you don't want YouTube taking 30% of your super chat donation, however, you do have the option to buy me a coffee. The link is in the description as always. And you also have the option to become a channel member. So you have those options as well. None of this stuff is required. It just helps me a lot. Just your being here and rocking out each and every week with me is enough support. For those of y'all listening on audio only, if you would like to support the podcast, there will be links in the show notes. So make sure you go check that out if you choose to do that. Also, if you're listening to this on Apple Podcast, could you please consider leaving a rating or review as it helps more people discover VypDrive? Thank you guys for rocking out on audio each and every week. I appreciate all of you all. Stephanie, I'm curious. Did you get to CES this year?
I did not.
You did not.
No, I was planning on going, but as I mentioned before, if you run this like a business, there are certain decisions that you make of like, nope, It's not going to be for me. So it was one of those where I made that decision of if I am going to be working with some people and have an opportunity to really connect with some of those brands that I was wanting to talk to, then I'll go. But some of those things didn't exactly work out. Number one, also with my schedule of when I could go and obviously make a good trip of it. So yeah, just it didn't work out, but it's definitely one of those things that is always on my list. So I love going. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, so even though you didn't go this year, I'm pretty sure you kept track of all the happenings at CES, correct?
I did. There was a lot of other stuff that actually ended up happening like literally at the exact same time. So my focus wasn't completely on it, but yeah, of course, you're still watching.
Anything that you can remember that caught your or attention at CES this year?
You know, kind of watching with a lot of the different technology with TVs
Mm-hmm.
is honestly like really, really fascinating just because I think smartphones, there's always going to be really cool tech that's happening. I think that's slowing down. I could be surprised, obviously, as this year comes out and more devices come out. But I think what TVs are doing just in terms of sizes, of quality, of the technology that's built in them. I've actually enjoyed kind of checking those types of things out, and that was something that I would love to try to start reviewing and doing some different things with. So
Do you have a particular favorite TV brand?
um, I guess a couple for different reasons, and they're very different.
Okay.
TLC is
Mm,
actually one that I think is an amazing TV.
yep.
Just having everything built right into it. We're huge fans. That was one brand that I did work with, and ever since I worked with them, that ended up we have a ton of TLCs in our house. But then also looking at like what Samsung is doing again with like the frame TVs, all of these different things of TVs are always going to be a center in your home. And I think that companies have done a much better job of almost continually securing that position, but also always making it better. So, you have up against, up above a fireplace, and you're going to put the TV up there, but then other people don't want to do that because it doesn't look nice. But then, the frame TVs and all the different things that they're adding in there, and also ways to monetize those pieces. It's just been a really different space that has been kind of cool just to watch because it's growing. And I think that yes, always it's going to be the quality, of course. But I think just some of the different things that they're doing in order to make sure that the TV is still a center in your home, they're making that happen. So it's just been, like I said, it's one of those cool spaces that if you start really paying attention to some of the tech that's coming out with that, it can be pretty cool.
Yeah, there have been a lot of advancement in TVs in the past 3 to 4 years, especially at
Yeah.
CES. I think Samsung's wall, they're like 92,
Yeah.
190 something inch monstrosity. Uh, LG had the rollable TV, I think that was.
Yeah.
Samsung had like the rotating TV at CES this year that changed the orientation. And
Yeah.
they also had a TV there, I think called the Q100 or something like that, where you can cast your cell phone to the side of the TV, so you can have your cell phone display on the side of whatever you're watching. So
Yeah.
again, definitely a lot of advancement on the TV front.
It is. And like I said, it's little things that as they start to come out, it's just like I said, it's been really fascinating to watch because
Mhm.
there's only so many things that are changing with our smartphones.
Right.
And obviously we have, the flip technology. We have a lot of different things that are really trying to push that um, into some new and exciting things. But other than like cameras and all of that, I mean, smartphones are not, they're still amazing, but yet you're running out of things that your smartphone is going to do.
Yeah, they're definitely reaching a plateau. Shout out to TK for the support again, man. You've been showing a lot of love tonight. Thank you, TK, and thank you for the conversation about an hour ago. I appreciate you, sir. So thank you for coming through again. Speaking of TCL, Stephanie, TCL sent us out. They sent a lot of people out these newer smartphones, the TCL 10L and the TCL 10 Pro. Did they send you out a couple of these by chance?
They didn't, but I have been seeing a couple different reviews, and they look really good. I think they've done a great job.
Yeah. Do you plan on getting your hands on any of these by chance?
Probably not. I mean,
Probably
it's
not.
probably
Okay.
going to be one of those where, again, as you're slowly entering back in, um, maybe later, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Um, from the time that I spent with them, I can definitely say that they are awesome devices. I think
Yeah.
TCL is going to be a player in the smartphone game for years to come if they keep their current strategy of staying down in that budget tier. They can do a
Yeah.
lot of damage because I don't think people are quite aware of how big a company TCL really is. They are
Right.
massive.
Yeah. No, they definitely are. And so I think I'm curious, what did you think?
So they sent me out the 10L, which is going around $250, and they sent out the 10 Pro, which is around $449. Both of
Yeah.
them are excellent devices. I mean, the $250 phone gets you practically all of the bells and whistles of your flagship at a
Hmm.
$250 price point, while the 10 Pro improved on that with a better processor, more features, things like that. But
Right.
you got the curved display, solid display resolution, things like that. So again, these are nice devices for the price
Hmm.
point. So I am curious to see how they grow and what devices they come out with in the future because the sky is the limit for TCL. We know how they've gotten good with their TVs. If they do the same thing that they've done with TVs with smartphones, look out.
Yeah. So how's the camera?
It's okay. I mean, it's not competing with the Apples and Samsungs and Googles of the world, but
Right.
it's in its
I mean, for
own
that
vacuum.
price point,
Yeah,
that's
for that price point, it's decent.
yeah. No, that's awesome. I mean, I think that that's the other piece is that the number of people who are willing to pay the, sky high prices for the phones is, I don't want to say that it's going down. I don't think that that's right, but I think that more people are aware of the other options that are available. And that's where, they're coming into the market. Obviously, Apple's doing the same thing with their
Hmm.
phones. Obviously,
Yep.
Google did the same. And I mean, Samsung did too. So it's just one of those where thank goodness more options are available. And I'm grateful for companies doing that just because I think that it's opening up technology to more people.
Absolutely. To your point, Apple's iPhone 11 was the best-selling iPhone last year, best-selling smartphone overall. So, as you're saying, people are realizing that they have more options at the lower price point. The iPhone
Right.
11 started at $700, so you got the $700 iPhone right here, and then you got these iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max models that start at $1,000, and people are like, "No, give me the
Right.
iPhone 11." So
Yeah.
people are definitely beginning to realize they have better options, or not better, but they have more price efficient options. And this year, more than any, Stephanie, we are seeing a lot of mid range phones coming to that $400-500 price point, and it is fierce down there right now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really excited for the Pixel 4a to
Yeah,
come out. I'm like always watching for all of the news, and I was just kind of noticing some of the different things that they're doing, and also what's like not coming to the and all.
you muted. You muted yourself. There
That's
you go.
right better.
Yeah, your audio went kind of wonky, didn't mute it, but you're back.
So I just think that it's just really cool just to see that the companies are paying attention to what people are actually using or not using. So I don't know if you saw, I had just tweeted about that. I think the Pixel 5. I don't know if they're also doing it on the 4a, but they're not going to have the squeeze feature. I
Right.
don't know anybody that was really using that.
No. Okay. Whatever mic is coming through, I don't think it's the mic that you were originally using.
No, I think my headphones just gave out.
Ah, okay.
That's
Gotcha. That makes sense.
all right. I can switch them really fast.
Okay. No.
Lovely
Okay.
tech issues. But yeah, we can still go ahead and chat. Sorry.
No problem. I mean, that's the beauty of a live stream. Anything and everything can happen at any time.
Of course.
Oh man. But yeah, the Pixel 4a, there's been a lot of rumors and speculation about that device. A lot of people think it's coming on the 22nd of the month. I've heard nothing to that effect, so I have no idea, but I have to believe it's coming soon.
Yeah, they keep kind of saying that the date is, it's changing, it's going to be later. So, we'll see. they let the news out last time, and I can only hope that they would do the exact same this year.
Right. So Janosis is asking, what is your daily driver? I think it's the Pixel 4, right?
4XL.
Oh, excuse me, 4XL. She go with the big boy. That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. The Pixel 4 will be a terrible daily driver with that battery life. So
I mean, I think I plug my phone in, so often. So I don't think that I really mind the battery life so much, because even on, the phones that are getting really good battery life, I'm still having to plug them in just because of different things that I'm doing on my phone. And I'm using so much of that battery power, whether it's taking photos or, messaging, whatever the case may be, it's using up your battery. So I've never honestly been able to get through a full day on any phone.
What?
Ever.
What do you? You know what? That's because you haven't had an iPhone 11 or 11 Pro Max. See,
no,
you need to.
I mean, okay, so that can be another quick test that we'll have to do and see if it would last. But I don't know.
Oh, those batteries are beefy.
Ugh, I can't go over to an iPhone.
This is hilarious because what was it? 8 years ago, you couldn't touch Android, and now you can't touch iPhone. I just found it hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna, and I can't go back. I think I get too bored because it looks the exact same every single year, and to me that is so boring. I can't.
You are not alone in that sentiment. A lot of us think that they need a home screen redesign or overhaul or something, because the static row of icons and static grid it needs to be changed up.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's honestly like my whole issue. So, yeah.
No doubt. All right, let's get into a slightly deeper conversation.
Okay.
You yourself are a very successful woman in tech. So I am curious to get your thoughts on why do you feel like, or at least I feel like, there aren't more women in the tech space or in the tech field in general?
That's actually something that we, even talk about at work about, through cybersecurity. And I think that there's a ton of options out there, but I think that women don't always feel comfortable in the industry just because it is so male dominated. However, it is actually really, really cool to see some of the stats that are coming out talking about the different reasons why technology and even, cybersecurity need women inside to be able to go through, and just the ways that the women work and we operate, we kind of go through and do our daily, daily things. It's cool to see some of the research that has come through saying we have to have more women out there. And it's actually really, sad just to see that there is, there's a pay gap as well. And I think that also has to change. And I think as more women get into the industry, they need to realize that the industry is dying. They are ready for them. And so the opportunities are huge because they are really trying to look for more women. And so it's been great to connect with young women who are out there doing, looking at security. I know that has been, like I said, a topic of ours, even at Mobile Iron, and then even just things that I see through the women that I'm connected with online, that they're going to school, they're continuing their education, and they're interested in getting into the industry. So I always cheer them on, and I'm hopeful that the next couple of years we'll definitely see some numbers increase.
You and me both, because I definitely think that there are not nearly enough women in the tech space, and
right,
like you said, some of it can be attributed to the fact that it is a mostly male-dominated field, and some women might feel intimidated by that. Right. Another thing that I can't talk. Another thing that I've heard from women that I've asked this question to before is that they say that growing up, they were not really directed towards technology. So, do you think that has something to do with it too? That their upbringing doesn't really involve technology, or they're actually steered away from technology?
Yeah, I think it can be, a mixture of different things. One of them, especially being that they weren't really brought into the tech space, and I think also understanding the opportunities that are there. But then also, I think that I had parents that were always pushing me to do things that I enjoyed and that I really wanted to be a part of, and I think that having people in your life that are able to help, push you towards a lot of those pieces, I think that's another thing that, people also really lack. And so it's great to see a lot of these other groups really coming together to help women grow and pursue some of those dreams that they have. And they have people that will stand and back them up and cheer them on. So I think that it's a couple different things. They definitely need those people in their lives, but then also just the ability and different groups that are really pushing those things forward.
Yeah, hopefully that will continue with people giving women the pathway to technology, because it could be a great thing. I mean, it doesn't have to be male dominated. Women can and have succeeded in tech, so it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Right, and I think that as just social media in general has increased, I think that the number of ways that women are able to connect with like-minded people, that's also made a huge difference, because there's more groups that are available. There's more people talking about it. There's more ways that they can connect. And I think that as those groups have grown, we're seeing those numbers increase as the women are then entering the workplace into male-dominated fields.
Absolutely.
I think the other thing is, you have to stand your ground, and you have to be willing to be strong in those situations. And I think that's another thing of women, sometimes don't always want to be assertive, and, they don't want to be in a male dominated industry. And I think that one of the best things that you can always remember is that you have to treat that room full of people just as a room full of people. You don't need to think about, oh, wow, there's only 2 women in here. I'm one of them, and then the rest are males. That doesn't matter. You are going to talk to those people the exact same way that you would talk to a woman, whatever the case may be. It's going to be fine. So it's also kind of being able to get out of that zone whenever you're in a meeting or just even in the workplace, when you are surrounded by the majority of males.
Amen. Oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. I completely agree. It's almost like it's funny. I was talking to Andrew Edwards the other day on the podcast, and he was talking about how some brands don't like to work with YouTubers because the YouTubers are unable to be the same person they are when they're making their videos in front of like a production crew and things like that, because they don't have the confidence. And it's the same way. You have to have the confidence no matter what environment that you're in, no matter who's in the room. You need to have that confidence to put on your best, to put your best foot forward, so people can know that you have the skills and you have the confidence that is needed to perform the job or task at hand. You can't be lacking confidence. I don't care if you're a man, woman. It doesn't matter. You can't lack the confidence. You got to go in there and own it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's that's the other piece, is that if you don't come out and you don't own what you are doing, then are you really passionate about what you are doing?
That cut deep right there.
Think about it. Like, could you sit there and talk about quilting? No. I couldn't talk about quilting. Could I talk about, gosh, I don't know. I'm trying to come up with, another thing that I would not be interested in. But the case is that you also see a lot of YouTubers or even just content creators that are coming out and trying to talk about something that they are not interested in, only because they think that that's the niche that they need to get into because it's a super hot one right now. That doesn't make any sense, because it's going to come off, just the same type of thing is, if you do not have the confidence in what you are talking about, then nobody's going to have the confidence in you.
Amen.
Yeah.
Precisely right. If you don't have the confidence and the knowledge of what you're talking about, then, like you said, people are not going to take you seriously. Shout out to my man LeBaron for the $10 super chat. Thank you, sir. Like I told you guys last podcast, definitely go check out doingtheworldoflavor.com. Check out some of that delicious popcorn that LeBaron is selling. It is legit. And my head of security, El Jefe Reviews, thank you for the $10, El Jefe. Happy birthday again, man. And thank you for inviting me to your live stream earlier tonight. Yes, it's El Jefe's birthday. Yes, it is.
That's awesome. Well, happy birthday.
No doubt. Thank you. Thank you. And El Jefe has posted Stephanie's IG. You all should definitely go follow that. It's legit.
Thank you.
Definitely go follow her on IG. And when she comes back to YouTube, trust me when I tell you, I will let you know.
I will be there.
She will be there. I mean, I first discovered her on YouTube like 6-7 years ago, so she'll be back. She'll be back.
Yes, for sure. Man.
So besides the Pixel 4a, because I know you are a hardcore Pixel girl, are you looking forward to any other phones this year?
You know, I think the biggest reason that I have stayed so close with Google Pixels is because I love just the native Android experience. I love that. I still love Samsung. I mean, that's definitely, I was like my first Android love. And so I always, want to go back and experience the latest tech that they have out, but I still find myself enjoying what they have, but then going back to my trusty Pixel. It always happens.
Always. She's not lying. She is hardcore Pixel, no doubt. Yeah. Matt McCord, thank you for the super chat, sir, saying happy birthday to El Jefe. No doubt, man. No doubt. Appreciate you, Matt. Thank you. Thank you. So, Stephanie, as you alluded to earlier here, the smartphones are kind of plateauing. There's not much more we can do with smartphones per se. Wearables are kind of on the rise. We know that augmented reality, virtual reality is out there, things like that. So what do you think is the next big phase of technology? Where are we going next?
I mean, I think, as you literally kind of combine a lot of those different things, especially whenever you look at your smartwatch, I think that a lot of these, they are literally, they are becoming everything that you do on a daily basis. So you're paying with this. It is, it's your health. It can be your password, all of these different things. And I think that we're going to see that type of behavior continue. And so, yes, smartphones are always going to have something new that's coming out, but I still think that it's going to be that wearable technology that's going to start making an even bigger push into just our daily lives, that if you're not wearing one, I guarantee that market is going to continue to grow just because it's providing so many different things of, just things that we do on a daily basis. And it tells us so many things. It's connected to everything. And as you, are sleeping, as you are doing every single thing, it's literally you, because it's able to read your heart rate. It's able to do so many other things that I think that we're going to continue to see that market grow, especially in what that technology can do.
Absolutely. I think when Apple had their quarterly earnings call a week or so ago, wearables was the fastest growing technology or category in their earnings call. So wearables are definitely on the rise, and the Apple Watch is practically the top wearable out there for good reason. It is everything and then some. I mean, this is the only wearable that I know of, or the only mainstream consumer wearable that can literally save your life, and it's only going to get better each and every year.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely one thing that if I was going to say one big piece of, just Apple in general that I do wish that Google had was a better wearable. I have always been a huge fan of Android Wear, now Wear OS, so much that, I was doing videos on that. I had that, the relationship with Android Wear. And that's something that they're lacking. And that's obviously why they bought Fitbit. And they're trying to really, come and try to take more of that market share from Apple. I think they have a long way to go. And I say that obviously as a Google lover, but it's not there yet. And I appreciate that they're definitely trying. And I think the technology can be greatly improved. And I'm excited to see that happen. So.
Yeah, it seems like Google is trying to take more and more control back of Android. So hopefully, in the midst of all of that, they can come up with a better smartwatch, because like you said, right now, Wear OS is just not getting the job done.
It's not. And that's, I worked with Fitbit on, one of their watches. I loved it. I really started paying way more attention to my health in terms of movement and obviously just workout tracking. And then I missed my Wear OS watch. So I went back, went back to a Fossil watch. Samsung watches, those are great too. But again, all of those just in that Android, I guess, category, they can't match up to what Apple has. So I'm hopeful. I'm really, really hopeful that in these next couple of years, that's something that they're truly going to be working on. So that will be on my list right away of something that I will absolutely have to have.
Yep. So we got somebody in the chat that is wondering, what watch are you wearing currently right now?
It's a Fossil.
Okay.
I move it over. So yeah.
Nice.
I mean, that's another thing that I wish that Apple would have more of, is getting into watches that actually look like watches. I think I probably got complimented on my watches so many more times just because it looked like a regular watch that people are like, wait a second, which one is that? It doesn't look like a smartwatch. I mean, obviously when you see the screen, of course it is, but yet people are drawn to that. And so that's at least another check, mark over on Google's side that, that I love. But again, it's not Apple, and they have way more and cooler technology.
Yeah, Apple, for all the limitation of iOS in the walled garden, Apple definitely has some nice features on their wearables and just in the iOS ecosystem in general that you just don't find on Android. And that's why people keep coming back to Apple and over again.
Yeah, it's like I hate to agree with you on that one, but you're correct. I'll give it to you. That's fine. I'll let you have it.
It's all good. It's all good. So, are you into home automation at all? Smart home stuff?
A little. We do have Google products, of course, shocker, in the house, and so even my boys have them in their rooms. The number of times that they broadcast through the house is a lot, and thinking that we are going to answer them every single time. But, I love it. They ask it questions. They, understand what the weather is going to be the next day. Obviously, like I said, they broadcast and tell us good night, or, especially if they've been in trouble, that we love you. And I'm like, thank you, go to bed. But yeah, I mean, obviously like smart locks with different lights in the house, for sure. Security system, yes. So it's, that's also something that I think is definitely going to change in this next couple of years too, just in terms of what you are able to do to literally have the entire house in control right on your phone.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So I got kind of a selfish question for me, because you are the Instagram queen and I don't even know what the hell I'm doing on Instagram. So how does one grow on Instagram?
I think that it is always, I feel like I am repeating this one for sure, but connecting with other people that are like-minded. They're in the industry, because you're probably going to be liking their photos for, those particular reasons, where, somebody has a brand new setup on an Android. I'm totally there. Love it. And connecting with them, but also not only just liking a photo, but commenting. And then they comment back. Well, then say something back. Have a conversation. And different people that are in your area, I think that's also huge. In Austin, it's been really cool to connect with a lot of other, Austin bloggers. And again, different things that I'm interested in. So whether that is, family things, that is tech related, that could be car related. So every single time I'm coming in contact with somebody, I'm finding them on Instagram. Who are they following? Who are they talking to? Who's interacting with them? Who's super active with them? Because if they're probably going to be super active with that person, they're going to be super active with me. So, that's, I think I actually take that back to the way you can grow on Twitter as well. I mean, I think those are two very similar platforms when it comes to growing and, engaging and just trying to find like-minded people. So hashtags, that's a huge huge piece. So working your way through what hashtags are working for you and paying attention to your analytics, because that's another thing, whether, I don't care what platform you're on, your analytics tell your whole story, and they tell the story of whether or not you're doing a great job or whether you're doing a poor job. They're going to tell you everything that you would want to know. And so I think being able to go through those and figure out what is working for you. Is there a particular, particular types of content that work, particular hashtags that work? That's something that it takes a little while for you to, kind of have enough content and obviously continually create content in order to have those types of questions and answers. So I think that it's consistency and engagement, and then learning your audience and your analytics.
No doubt I'll have a data-driven decisions. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. She's on the money, as she usually is. Yeah. So me and you have like a mutual friend on YouTube. I know I've seen you talking a lot with Jacqueline from Nothing But Tech.
Yeah.
Curious, what other tech creators do you watch or are you into on YouTube?
Oh my gosh, I would probably have to get out my phone and go down an entire list. I mean, it's probably literally the exact same, exact same people. And it's so crazy because I will go down memory lane here. Kevin, the Tech Ninja.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Did not necessarily a Mother's Day shout out, but more of a women in tech shout out. Mm-hmm. And he did a collaboration video where a bunch of us submitted videos and he gave shout outs to women in tech on YouTube. And that was one of my first, introductions into, to Jacqueline. And ever since then, it's fun. We'll definitely, chat over DMs and stuff. And she's so amazing. And it has been crazy to watch her grow. But the one thing that, I have to say about that is that she deserves it. Yeah. She has stood up for what she's passionate about. I think that she has done a really good job of paying attention on what works. And she's done really cool collaborations and she's put herself out there. And it's been so great to watch her grow. So, then another cool favorite, of course, is Tech Me Out. So she and I did CES together one year because we were working with the brand together.
Okay.
And it was just fun being able to do CES with her and just hang out. So she's always been a big favorite. I got to see her when I was in San Francisco in February for Samsung's event. So it was fun just getting to see her again. But I think, the women in YouTube and especially in the tech space, obviously, are definitely the closer ones to my heart. But I can't leave those guys out because they've always been there. Y'all have always supported me. So I appreciate it. I think that the tech community, I have to say that it's been so fun to be a part of because people y'all have fun. And I feel there's so much going on. There's always new things happening. And everyone's they're always excited they're excited to bring new people in and talk about it. So it's been a great community to be a part of. So I've just always appreciated everybody.
Absolutely. I have said over and over again that the tech community take care of each other. We really literally do take care of each other. And it's awesome to be in the tech community and interact and collaborate with other creators. It's amazing.
For sure.
Curious, what is your favorite tech event that you've ever been to or your favorite tech event that you go to on a regular basis?
Gosh, I mean, I still think that it would probably be CES just because there's so much that you're able to take in. But, going to, something like, Samsung's event where obviously you're focused on one brand and the things that they're doing is still very fun because again, it's smaller. You're able to, to do a lot more in terms of networking and connecting. So it just, it's that toss up. You have that, it's great to see everything, but whenever you're, you get to be right there with one brand that's probably still going to be one of my favorites. So.
Yeah, I've never been to CES myself. Wanted to go there, but given the current situation, who knows when it will actually be open back up again.
Right.
Speaking of which, how are you holding up during all of this?
It's we're good. I have definitely kind of added to the role in terms of things that you have to do as a parent. And so my oldest is 11, my youngest is 6. So they are in 5th grade and kindergarten. So teaching during the day while I would normally be in an office. And so I'm staying home. And so is my husband. And so it's been very interesting. I think we've had to change a lot of the ways that, we would normally schedule our days. And so it's getting the boys up and breakfast and sometimes even starting their lessons for school right there at the breakfast table, knowing that I have to get to work. And so I usually wake up around 5 and I'll get a workout in, shower, start my day off, and then the boys will get up, maybe 7:30. So I've at least had some time to get myself together. But it's a lot. I have not had to worry about multiplying or adding, subtracting fractions in a really long time. And math is just not my strong suit whatsoever. So math and social studies and science and learning about the organism and how it interacts with its environment. And I'm like, oh God, can we do something else?
Right.
Now the kindergartner, I can definitely handle that math and putting adjectives in sentences and making them sparkly. So I can handle that. But I mean, we're happy, we're healthy, everything's fine. It has not affected anyone in our family. So we're definitely, very, very thankful for that. So it's been a change. And it's kind of one of those, are you getting used to this new normal, and how much are we going to see this continue, which will be normal, and it won't be that new normal anymore. So it's definitely, it's going to be interesting. So there's summer camps that have been canceled. So I think I'm going to be working from home for a long time.
Yeah, it's interesting to me because there's a lot of people that are trying to rush back out. They're tired of being pooped up and things like that. But even still, even after everything is reopened, the world as we knew it will never be the same before this whole pandemic started. People, including myself, will still be apprehensive about going out in public, especially to mass gatherings and things like that. I'm in no rush to go out to a mass gathering whatsoever. So,
no. I guess we can just be thankful that everyone now realizes that they need to wash their hands, and now they know how to wash their hands.
Thank God. Yes, thank God. Absolutely. Stephanie, it has been awesome having you on the podcast. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, this has been fun. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Before we go, let the people know where they can find you at.
As always, you can find me on Instagram. So that's Stephanie.Carls. And then Twitter is Steph Elise Carls. And then right here on YouTube, that is just Stephanie Carls.
Awesome. For those of y'all watching on the live stream tonight and on YouTube, thank you for watching. If you super chatted, brought me a coffee, or became a channel member, thank you guys for supporting. I appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you guys rocking out with me. Especially, I've been gone for a long time tonight. So if you showed up to both podcasts, thank you really for pulling double duty tonight. I appreciate you guys. For those of y'all listening on audio only, thank you for listening this week. Again, if you want to support the podcast monetarily, please visit the links in the show notes. If you want to follow Stephanie, all that information will be in the show notes as well. Also, if you happen to listen to this on Apple Podcasts, please consider leaving a rating or review as it helps more people discover VypDrive. But that is it for VypDrive episode 82. Shout out to Stephanie again. Thank you for joining me tonight. But until the next time, people, this your boy Viper, the man about tech. You know where to find me. So come back for more.